Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. Gate Ruler video. Thank you Sundial, my Simian level supporter. Thank you Triple Sleeve TCG for sponsoring this video. If you are interested in picking up some set 3 products, use my affiliate link in the description. It'd be very much appreciated and I'll get a little cut, which would be pretty kind of you. Today, on stream, we got the remaining cards from the new Crimenauts, and I am simultaneously excited and disappointed. Let's get into why. So, the first thing to keep in mind is, traditionally, and I say that with massive air quotes, newly introduced archetypes in Gate Ruler have kind of sucked, relative to what else was there. In set 1 this was true because you had your archetypes like Abyss Summon and Genesis Summon and Beast, and you had all these like archetype synergies, and you didn't play them because what you played instead was like yellow pink good stuff, or red pink good stuff if you're Apprentice, or red blue good stuff if you were playing Knight. That was realistically what you got to play, or like blue pink good stuff, right? That was the decks that were good. The archetypal synergies didn't really matter, so all the archetypes introduced in set 1 kind of sucked. In set 2, they got a lot better. Genesis Summon's really, really strong. Abyss is pretty good. And we got new archetypes introduced, such as Alice, which sucked. It's better now, but you know, it wasn't amazing. And I imagine this is going to be the same thing in set 3, which is why I really want to temper my expectations. Because I think this has incredible. Like, don't get me wrong, like Alice, I think the ceiling on this archetype is very high. I'm very, very, very excited to see where it goes in the future. But I'm putting it out there now, I'm reasonably sure it's not going to be particularly good as of set 3. Also, incidentally, I do think Alice with this Crimenaut core could be kind of spicy, but I have no idea on that. It's just something I thought of and I was like, maybe this would be cool. Since you're playing pink with Alice anyway. Right, let's actually get into the cards. And first, I'm going to give you a little refresher on the ones we've seen already. So this will be very quick. I'll just quickly go over these. So we've got Biomutant, Squad, Capo, Coup d'etat, Criminals, Demon Lord. Counter is you put one of your cards in play into the graveyard and special summon this to an attack zone if you do. And it's got a standard action to DR3. Choose up to 3 units of level 1 or less with concealment or force concealment from your deck. Reveal them to your opponent, then set one without revealing it. And return the rest to your deck. That unit cannot be normal summoned this turn, but it can be special summoned, and of course, as we'll see, that means that you can play all of them. Next, we've got Biomutant, Squad, Bearditor, and this one's really, really good. Criminals, Beast, Concealment. It can be normal summoned from your set zone to level 1. Beware of Bears. When your opponent plays an event at level 0 or lower, you may special summon this from the set zone, negate the event, and when this comes into play from the graveyard, it will gain +2 attack. Now that is probably a less relevant ability, though you can play Jenny Barbie stuff with this, so that's cool. Okay, so we have got that. Let's go ahead and discuss the brand new cards that we have here. And the first one revealed was Biomutant Squad Monkey Dictator. I'm sure this is really fine in Japanese, but it does not translate well to English. I'm looking forward to seeing the localizations. Criminal Beast, Concealment. This can be normal summoned from your set zone. It's a 5/3/1, so, you know, stats are reasonable. Monkeys fall from trees. When you are attacked by your opponent's ruler, you may special summon this from the set zone to your attack zone. If you do, until the end of the turn, your opponent's ruler gets -1 strike. Then choose one enemy field card and destroy it. It's a very interesting card. Now, at the moment, fields are not super popular, though decks certainly do play them. Darkness plays them, Genesis Summon plays them. I imagine blue decks will be playing Guns and Gold Armory now. Like, people definitely play these things, okay? It's not like they don't exist. But in terms of its generic, like, removal kind of thing, it's less good. -1 strike is, you know, not bad. It's reducing a damage and you're playing this thing for free. But, again, if it's at -2, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. -1, like, yeah, okay, every little helps, sure, but like, And then we have Biomutant Squad Shark Dictator. This is level 1. Crimenaut, Shark, Beast, Water. 3/3/1, Concealment. This can be normal summon from your set zone. When your opponent uses the OD or TD of a unit of level 1 or lower, you may special summon this from the set zone. If you do, negate that OD or TD. So you'll notice this is literally just Vilma, but better attributes, and it's from set zone to sort of make up for that. Now, okay, of course, equally, you don't have to pay the cost for this one. It's it's a special summon, so you don't have to pay the cost, whereas you do with Vilma. And of course, this has the whole host of synergies around it. Though, again, Vilma is any OD and TD, and this is just level 1 or lower. So they are very similar, but very different as well. Let's go ahead and get into the discussion here, why I want to talk about this in terms of viability. So at the moment, the problem I see with these cards is they are all very, very niche, and there isn't a ruler in the game that really lets you abuse them. What do I mean by that? Well, whilst, you know, in theory, you might be sitting there and you go, oh yeah, gate ruler, I can choose any ruler and I can build anything, and let's be realistic here. Some rulers are going to be incredibly potent for some archetypes and pretty useless for others. Some good examples here. Darkness, we saw the moment Darkness got access to Overlord, it went sicko mode. Like, that deck went from tier 3 to tier 0.001. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. Now, obviously, you know, we got it early, we didn't have set 3 support, so, but still, you know, that deck has had a real boost thanks to Overlord, because that's a ruler that synergizes very well with what Darkness was trying to do, in that it was a deck that didn't really care so much about the defenses, so you didn't really care about the, you know, negs that are associated with Overlord. And it really reimbursed. It improved all your positive aspects, and sort of synergized very well, because you were a deck that wanted to play a load of level 3s. Well, now I can just play them for once. I'm totally fine with playing a load of level 3s. It means that they're not dead in my hand. So it was sort of complementing. It was complementing Darkness. It was mitigating some of the weaknesses, and then the weaknesses it had, weaknesses Darkness already had, that mitigating for wasn't going to really help anyway. So it synergized very, very, very nicely. And you know, so equally, then you look at Genesis Summon. This is a combo deck, so a ruler like Overlord is actually not suited for Genesis Summon, because you want to be playing more than 3 cards a turn. You want to be potentially doing some interaction with things like Flying Shield, for example. So, you know, having access to their Knight is actually a ruler that's really good with Genesis Summon. And it synergizes very, very well. So, coming back to the discussion here, what is the goal with this deck? Well, you would imagine this is going to be a control deck where you want to, you know, like the problem with this deck, right, is firstly, where's the win con, right? Like, I don't have an issue merging archetypes or anything. Like, I'm not one of those people who has to play everything pure, but there's no win condition here at all, right? Like, the win con at the moment is, okay, well, I'll stop my opponent doing a couple things, and maybe I'll get some value, and maybe that will help, and that's, you know, that's not enough, right? I'm going to keep using these because they're really good examples, right? With Genesis Summon and Darkness, it's really clear that the win con is keep putting out big things and overwhelm the opponent, right? Like, so if you're not putting out big things in a turn, you're falling behind. And, you know, with this, what are you doing? You're like, okay, well, I can stop them playing a level 0 event. That's probably going to be a defensive event. Cool. Okay, I can stop a TD or OD from a level 1. Okay, cool. I can pop a field. Like, it very much feels like the way the current rulers are structured, in terms of actually being able to abuse these cards, you can't. Now, a scenario in which these would be really, really powerful is when you're able to just spam them, get them out again and again and again, really, like, go off, right? It's the same sort of deal with Alice, right? Like, you know, Alice doesn't really have a win con either. It's a heavy control attrition deck that just attempts to win by being really annoying and refusing to die. And I don't even think this is going to be able to do that much, right? And, you know, hence why they could potentially synergize, because they both kind of do the same really annoying thing. So then maybe they'll be extra annoying, or maybe it'll suck because there's even less of a win con. And basically, I think this is kind of... This archetype really feels like Oni Assassins, but nowhere near as good, because Oni Assassins was like a proper control deck from Makeda's previous game, where you would basically, you would get your units and you would put them underneath, like, for example, you put them in the charges in Gate Ruler terms of of a unit, and then you'd be able to play them from those charges. Or rather, when they were not, you didn't play them the charges. Sorry, when they were put from the field to the drop, as they were like face down like that, then you could play them and you could do things, right? You would be able to disrupt. You would be able to do removal and this sort of thing. And the problems here are one. Gate Ruler right now does not facilitate anywhere close to the level of card advantage you would need to really be able to abuse these cards. Like you need to be plussing in order to like actually take those things here. And granted, this isn't fair because we haven't seen any of the event support they might be getting, because they really need something like look through your deck, set 2, or like look through your deck and set 3 of these, right? Like that's or a set that you can set that lets you set these underneath it and then use them if they're underneath it. Because another problem is, good lord, all the most you have is 3 set zones, and you need a set zone open to use any event. So immediately you only really have 2 set zones where you can like be setting these. And if your opponent doesn't fulfill the conditions and you set up 2 things, either you're about to lock yourself out of being able to potentially use events for like the entire. Oh, actually, to be fair, I think you can set over. So you can play over, but you would lose 1, right? So it's still negging you. And like the problem is so clear that you're just like putting yourself in this awkward situation where none of the payoff of any of these cards is really good enough to just be sitting there like, yeah, I'm okay, like having set. By the way, I'm completely ignoring the fact that all back row is getting just nuked with cards in this set. So being a back row heavy deck at the moment is just a terrible idea. So, you know, I will say, when you consider this in the context of set 2 and how Darumagedon as a deck was functioning, you would be like, whoa, this is crazy! Because obviously, in the context of Darumagedon, that's units I'm able to set that I can just normal summon. So there's just way more things I can play that let me set it. And, you know, I also have things that can set from deck. I can deck thin. So in the context of a Darumagedon deck, these are kind of insane. But obviously Darumagedon decks are fallen way behind because they're not going to be able to abuse all these new tools that all these decks have access to. So yeah, this is probably best in Darumagedon. But clearly that's not how they want you to play it, right? Like, they clearly don't want this just to be a thing that you go, oh, well, I can play it in this sort of advantage-focused strategies that, 1, everyone hates, and 2, is just not going to be good. Like, clearly the intention here is to give this its own sort of play style. And it sucks right now. I'm waiting and hoping that some of these support pieces are going to be really, really good, but I just don't think this is going to be at all playable, this set, outside of supporting Darumagedon. And frankly, if you want to spend your time in Gate Ruler playing Darumagedon decks, you should probably head to your doctor and get yourself checked out, because that's not a normal thing to want. That's not a normal thing to do, and we don't like you very much. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this very rambly video today. If you did, like it, subscribe to the channel for more Gate Ruler content. Let me tell you, some of the cards we've seen this week have truly been insane. Not these ones. But if you want to see the ones I'm talking about, you should hit subscribe. It's right next to the like button, which you should also hit. Obviously turn the notifications on for the next video where I'll be talking about all the cards we've seen this week. Oh man, dude, I'm just looking at a little spoiler, okay? Atlas, kind of pog right now. It's kind of... So just, you know, like, subscribe. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Am I just being way too harsh? Or have I hit the nail on the head and these things are garbage and really the only use of them is in like a fucking Darumagedon deck? Let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.